Hey, this is Dave from Greensky Bluegrass, and you're listening to the Midwest Mixtape live from the Barn Studio.
$27 in an old jean jacket, and there's dust under the collar. 'Cause I've been walking for hours, but I'm almost where I said that I would be. Just like on television, this heart full of ambition has been haunting my dreams, reaching for grander things, and I never really knew they could be mine. But I'm out way past my prime, looking for reasons I didn't get mine.
This is The Mox, and you're listening to the Midwest Mixtape podcast live from the barn. And we have a special guest with us today. We have Mr. Dave Bruzza from Greensky Bluegrass, Unsafe at Any Speed, you know, whatever kind of band you want to throw, Iron Maiden, whatever it is. Dave, thanks for joining us today, man.
Thanks for having me, Chad.
Sent you that little thing earlier, and it said, "What band do you want me to be in today?" I know you're a busy man, especially this time of year, and you're actually on a small little run of shows right now, a solo run.
Yeah, I'm doing 4 solo shows. It's the first time I've ever done a solo tour. I've played solo shows sprinkled around, but this is the first time I've gone out and I'm gonna do this and face some fears, because I don't really like playing solo a whole lot, but after night one, it felt pretty good.
You kind of hear artists talk about that a little bit, and I know you guys with Greensky have played massive shows, Red Rocks, several times, all these big festivals, but You hear it sort of sometimes get to artists' nerves a little bit more in the more smaller, intimate settings. Is that the case for you as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's intimate is the word. It's one person. You are one person, and to sit in a room full of 300, 200 people, whatever it is intimidating, because you can't just lean on everybody and make something together. You are in charge, which can be also very full of freedom, and I can do whatever I want whenever I want. But it can be a little intimidating for myself, and it's a good way to kind of reassure myself that I know what I'm doing.
Right. And we're excited having you in town. I know you've played St. Louis many times, but this Sunday, October 15th, your solo show will be at the City Winery in St. Louis, Missouri. Doors are at 5 p.m., $7 start of the show, $25. Again, one of those intimate settings. And what can we expect from that show?
Well, you can expect anything. I've been known to do a lot of weird things over the time, and St. Louis in particular is a great place to go to. I love going to St. Louis. Not a big fan of the baseball team there, but that's okay. We all can't have good taste. What can I say? But
and right now, both of us are sitting at home.
They're all playing golf somewhere. But no, I love the city of St. Louis. I love coming there to play. I'm really excited to check out the new City Winery there. I believe it's new-ish, but I got a lot of friends there, and looking forward to sharing some songs with people. And it's exciting to be able to go out and do this on my own. I stopped through with Greensky, as you said, tons of times. We've played a lot of rooms in St. Louis over the years, and I played with Unsafe at Any Speed, my rock and roll surf rock band, last spring, and it was a wonderful time. And this will be really exciting for me. I'm pretty happy to get back.
Yeah, and I saw on your social, you actually released a live video from the last spring you were in town at the old Rock House in St. Louis, Unsafe at Any Speed, and was glad to see that. That's a great room and a great venue to be at. So that was pretty cool to see that you guys released that.
Yeah. I mean, old Rock House, Greensky played many times, and I was really happy to bring my side project there after all these years. And I was a little bummed that the Blues were in the playoffs, because you all know St. Louis, you guys are some sports fans, and some people were a little more into that than what I was doing, but I was happy to have my friends from Gateway Productions come down there and do the video.
Who are some contemporaries of you guys and yours in general that you feel like are doing it right, or really just any artist right now that you feel are really doing it the right way?
Oh man, there's so many. You know, of course, we can always talk about Billy Strings. He's an old friend of ours in Greensky, and just to see him out there doing what he's doing and playing bluegrass music to these massive crowds is just heartwarming. He's a great guy, and happy to see him do his thing. But there's, you know, that could be said for so many different bands. You know, Billy's a little different because we're friends and we've been friends for a long time. But, you know, there's other stuff out there that I'm really into. Like there's this band out of Toronto, Canada called the Suffragettes. And they get up in like, you know, these boots and beehive haircuts, and they just shred. These ladies just kill it. And it's, you know, classic, you know, authentic, like surf rock instrumental mostly. But, you know, around the world, there's just so much music out there. And it's just, you know, for me, I like to bounce back and forth between anything I can get my ears on. You know, there's just too many to name, really.
We kind of joke about you being in, you know, a ton of different bands, but does that sort of give you the freedom to explore different sounds, different maybe song stylings, or just different genres that you might be interested in and influenced by?
Yeah, it does give me a little bit of an outlet. You know, Greensky's been around for 23 years. And I love my band, and I love what we get to do. And it's playing with those guys is, you know, we can read each other's minds, and it's excellent. You know, I don't get to do the side project thing as often. But when I get to do it, that's exactly right. You know, I get to, you know, play like some surf rock or some old obscure country blues stuff. And then I have some other songs that I've written that just don't fit in the Greensky canon, but they have a home when I play solo or when I play with Unsafe at any speed. So it's just a way to grow and keep learning. That's the most important thing in life, I think, is as long as you're moving forward and progressing, you're doing it right. And it's exciting. And on top of it, it also comes with a bit of a challenge. You know, I don't want to rest on my laurels ever. So it's nice to offer myself the challenge and take it, you know.
Surf rock isn't a genre that that a lot of people think of, right? And everybody talks about Dick Dale and that sound, but sure. One of my favorite surf rock records, or really just kind of maybe rockabilly records, is Neil Young's "Everybody's Rockin'." Not sure if you're familiar with that one or not. Yeah. It was sort of his kind of middle finger to the record industry, I think, because I think maybe his label said, "Hey, we want you to do more of a rock record." So like he went way back with "Everybody's Rockin'." It's kind of it's I think it's hilarious, and I think it's like, you know, one of the most punk rock sort of things that you can do. Totally.
I mean, music is music, right? Like you could listen to bluegrass, jazz, whatever you want to label it. It's all the same thing. Whatever jives with you, like that's the most important thing. And, you know, for myself, I grew up listening to a lot of early rock and roll and country and bluegrass stuff like that, and R&B. Like my dad, his record collection would be like Flatt and Scruggs, Willie Nelson and stuff like that. And my mom had like Roberta Flack and the Beatles and all kinds of stuff. So I had a really well-rounded introduction growing up. And, you know, I'd sit around and listen to records with my mom all the time. And, you know, I'd pick Beatles a lot, but we'd also get like Sam and Dave on there, and they had like the lively ones and Sam and Jan and Dean and stuff like that. So it was I never wanted to limit myself, you know, and I think that was an unconscious thing. And I just like to listen to whatever I can. And in particular, that roots rock and roll is just, that really speaks to me. And I really love that stuff.
I want to acknowledge and say congratulations. I know you're a man that's working on his sobriety. Wonder if you staying busy is part of maybe the health plan with that.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I've become much more open about that. It's been 3 years for me, and, you know, I needed to make some life changes. But, you know, I think that's where the surf rock really started for me, actually. In my first 6 months of sobriety during the pandemic, I sat in my apartment in Denver, and that's when I was playing all the instruments, and I was trying to get better at recording software. And I made a whole a surf rock album by myself. But yeah, it was in the beginning, definitely a means to keep my mind occupied, keep busy, keep productive. But right now, I think I just like to play. So when I get the opportunity to, I'll complain all day long that I'm not home, but like,
right.
I'll still go out and I'll take the gigs when I can and have fun with it.
Projecting myself here. Are you a guy that has trouble saying no? So if you get an offer to play a show or a tour or work on a project or even collaborations, is it hard for you to turn things down?
No, I can balance stuff. I mean, you gotta have good, it's good for your mental health to know when it's time to, like, okay, I need to take a step back. And for me, I think I have a hard time saying no going to baseball games. That's my hardest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a buddy who's like, hey, we're going to go see the Cubs in Minnesota. You want to go? I'm like, sure, I'll go. And then I'll regret that decision while I'm on my way. But as soon as I'm at the game, I'm having a good time.
Can you give us a little bit of an update on Greensky? I know we this past summer released a couple new singles, great songs, by the way. Are these part of a bigger collective, piece of work? Is this going to be an album? And what kind of update do you have on that?
Well, we'll see. Some of the singles that we were releasing were actually some, B-sides from the Stress Streams album that we felt needed a home. And, we collaborated with the people with Record Store Day and did the single, the 45, with those two tracks. But we've been pretty busy. We had a really busy summer. It's been great. And, we got to go to Iceland, and we actually did some recording while we were at Iceland. So I would expect to be some more stuff coming from Greensky. And, I'm looking forward to, we have a big fall tour out west, and then we'll be down in like Texas and stuff like that too. So I'm looking forward to just the future, and there'll be a lot of stuff coming from Greensky.
And obviously Greensky has been a significant part of your life for over 20 years now.
Yeah.
What are when you look back and think back on, 2 decades worth of work and art, what are some of the things maybe you're most proud of, or do you look back on with really fond memories of?
I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to say that I've been doing that for 23 years. There's no moment that passes by that, it's just, it's heavy, because what started out as kind of a fun thing to do turned into my life and my livelihood. And, I don't think any one of us on that stage ever take that for granted. And we're just really lucky to be where we are. And we've worked really, really hard to be where we are. And the opportunities that we've had, I mean, we've been on the Red Rock stage 17 times as of this year.
Wow.
We've been to Japan. We go to Mexico every year for Strings and Soul. We've gotten to play with our heroes. I've gotten to meet a lot of great baseball people because of it. But it's just it's really special, and I'm just grateful. All that hard work, and it's a great way to live. And I'd be nowhere without those guys. So I'm just I guess that's the word, is grateful. I sound like it's as cheesy as it is. Yeah, that's what it is. It's gratitude.
Like many other Greensky fans, one of my favorite songs of you guys is Past My Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Do you care if we hear a little bit of it and talk about it?
Sure.
They could be mine, but I'm out way past my prime. Looking for reasons I didn't get my time. Chances I miss while I'm on my way to that vacant place that I promised myself I would not escape. One more drink and I'm anyone's useless mess, just a helpless man with no self-defense. If I'm not yours, what are you looking
Can you tell us a little bit about Past My Prime, and what do you remember about writing and recording that?
Well, Paul wrote that song, and I remember him bringing it to us. And as embarrassed as I am, I don't remember exactly what album it's on, but I do remember we recorded it in Asheville, North Carolina at Echo Mountain Studio. And man, I must have been, it's on Shouted because I think Steve Berlin was with us. Yeah, I remember him bringing it and having the lyrics and hearing his version. And what we do often in Green Skies, everyone kind of has their hands on the arrangement and helps push the song in a way. He had a particular vision, but once it was coming together over the couple weeks or so, you know, the final version really had this cool drive feeling to it with some nice anticipations and just keeping it as simple as possible. Let the song be the song and let the words speak for themselves, because Paul has a great knack for putting words together and telling stories. That's something I really admire about his writing. I don't have that in my toolbox, really. I write about goofy shit, pardon me. But yeah, I love the way it came together. And then the solo section, Anders really dug deep from, you know, we were at that time really experimenting with a lot more effects and distortion sounds. And he really found a niche there with the dobro, and it soars. It's great. It's an excellent tune. And it was one of the first tunes we realized I could sing high harmony, I believe. And, you know, when we get to perform that live, it's always a lot of fun, because singing that part is a great feeling. It's a good release. And, you know, you get to see and feel that reaction from the crowd every time. It never really fails.
Why do you think that maybe it resonates with so many people, and why do you think they're drawn to it?
I think there's some content in there, you know, about just not feeling good enough, but still getting through, you know, and it's got a great rhythm to it. It's got a great melody to it. And I think all in all, it's really the content of what Paul's singing about.
Are you familiar with Willie T. Taylor?
Yeah, we know Willie T.
Yeah, I love Willie T. And it makes me think about, because I'm in my 40s, right? So it makes me think about his song, and I know you're a baseball fan, so you might appreciate this. Knuckleball Prime, right? Where maybe a little...
Yeah, I do know that song.
Yeah, a little past our prime a little bit, you know, and what that feels like to maybe get a little bit older. Sure, you have some more experience. Sure, you're able to balance things a little bit better, but probably maybe a little bit past our prime. And maybe that's why it resonated with me. But it did make me think about Willie T's song.
Yeah, Willie T is excellent, man. We've been friends with him for years. He's played with us a bunch, and I know him and Paul have sat down and talked songs and written some songs together. And he's a great hang, man. And what a baseball fan! Oh gosh, what a baseball fan! It's fun to see him around. He came out to one of our Thanksgiving shows in Michigan, I believe, the other year. It was the last time I got to see him. Just a great guy, great songwriter. And again, man, what a baseball fan. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, we interviewed him, and, you know, it's supposed to be about promoting whatever he had coming out at the time, but we just talked baseball literally for 30 minutes. I don't think we barely even touched on the music. Yeah, I think that's something that happens in my world, because in the band, our banjo player Mike loves baseball too, but I get in these conversations, like when Sam Bush is around, we go deep, especially when we see each other in June on a Telluride. Man, we have a lot of conversations, and we talk, you know, Cardinals ball, we talk Cubs ball, we talk the entire MLB really, and what we're thinking at that point. And, you know, I love that stuff. I mean, it's a great experience. And in fact, I do this postseason fantasy league, and last night I just destroyed the league. I loved it because no one played Nick Castellanos, but man, I've been talking about this guy since he was on Detroit, and I wish he would have stayed in Chicago. But he had what a night last night for the Phils. Yeah, he went 3 for 3, just crushing the ball. Yeah, and you mentioned Sam Bush. I think he is a Cardinals fan, right? He even has a song about Ozzie Smith from back in the 80s.
Hey Ozzie, yeah, that's a great tune. Yeah, Sam's a great baseball fan. You know, Cardinals are his team. and he's gotten to play, take me out to the ball game on top of the dugout at Busch. And, we go to ball games together. We try to hit at least one together a year. But his wife, Lynn, and they took me to a Rocks game. I took them to Wrigley last year because he hadn't been since the first night game. I don't think Lynn had ever been to Wrigley. So we got to spend the afternoon together there and walk around, and we saw a great game against it was the Baltimore Orioles. Just wiped. They were crushing. They crushed the Cubs that day. It was right before the All-Star break last year. But yeah, man, there's nothing better to me than sitting at the ballpark all day. And I've been to Busch quite a bit actually. I do enjoy St. Louis ball fans because they're educated fans and they're not fair weather fans. They know the game. They're always fun to talk to, and they're always there's a little bit of razzing. I was there for opening day in 2016. That was quite an experience. But and I was also there in 16. I was at the game where Hendricks took a no-hitter to the bottom of the ninth, and Hazelbaker hit that home run with one out.
Oh, wow. Man,
that would have been great to see a no in St. Louis. Because I don't think the Cards have been no-hit in St. Louis, and I can't remember the stat, but it's been a long time, and that would have been quite the bragging rights for me. But a one-hit gem from Kyle Hendricks that day was an excellent game.
You talk about taking in a lot of games. What are some of your favorite stadiums?
Man, well, I mean, of course I'm biased. Wrigley is the best, even with all the renovations. I went to I have family in Phoenix area, so I ended up going to a game this year. It was the Rockies and Diamondbacks, and I got to sit in their swimming pool section.
Oh, cool.
Which was, such a novelty at the time. But then we got to watch the game. It was me and my brother-in-law, Joe, and it was cool. Like, because they have this little section that the right field wall is just chain link fence, so you can just walk down there and you're field level. And St. Louis people will like this. Tommy Pham was out and right, so we got to, of course I said go Cubs to him a couple times, but that's great. Minnesota has an excellent Target Field is great. I went up there in April, really enjoyed it. But my goal is to try to get to all the parks. So I need to hit Southern California, Texas, Miami. Still haven't seen a game in Philly. Never been to, Citi Field now for the Mets. So so that's about it. So there's like 6 stadiums I need to still visit, but it's quite a joy in life. I was raised on baseball, listened to it on the radio. I'm secretly 75, so.
Join here.
I do like Busch though.
Yeah,
I do like Busch a lot, but they kind of changed the whole ecosystem of fields. With the baseball village was kind of the first of its kind, and now every park seems to have some kind of like little area that's like specifically, like in Atlanta they have the Battery, right? That's all by design because of St. Louis Baseball Village.
Yeah, and sometimes, I've been there for many games, even just to the village and not going to the game. It's just as much of a live atmosphere as sometimes going to the game. So I think it's maybe even sometimes a cheaper option for people that's not able to afford a high price ticket.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's gotten a little out of hand with the ticket prices and food prices and all that. But, it's cool that there's still an area where people can go and gather and still have that community rally behind their team. And, I know it was a rough year for Cards fans, but, because you guys just don't know how to lose. So, but, maybe banning the shift and playing more teams and not just beating up on the Central Division has exposed a few things about their organization and how they have to move forward. It's a new game, essentially the same thing, but we all have to adjust.
And it being a rough year is an understatement. We're joined here with Dave Bruzza from Greensky Bluegrass and a lot of other bands. You're going to be catching him Sunday, October 15th at City Winery in St. Louis, Missouri. Doors are at 5, shows at 7, $25. Go to davebruzza.com for all the show dates and information. Dave, really appreciate your time today, talking music, talking baseball, and we'll catch you when you come into town.
Sounds great, Chad. Thanks for having me.
$27 in an old jean jacket, this dust under the collar, 'cause I've been walking for hours, but I'm almost where I said that I would be. Just like on television, this heart full of ambition has been haunting my dreams, reaching for grander things, and I never really knew if they could be mine. But I'm out way past my prime, looking for reasons